Hey everyone, Margarita here. It's Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. And I just want to catch this on film while I have heavy neurotoxicity. I did fall asleep in my bed upstairs a little while ago. There is still particles outside floating around coming through the windows from the third Ford gas spill. Which they did not go public with. I'm the one who called them, and then they still continue to cover it up and lie and state that they don't flush and that there is no spill. Yet I then caught trucks outside flushing, and then a few hours later the power lines up top were on fire, which is because the gas particles got stirred up and float up above where those power lines are. That's why there's such a high risk of explosion when that stuff happens. I knew it was nowhere near EPA's level of all clear. Even then, they don't check the outside air. They check people's homes. And even then, my home's not all clear, and I literally needed 100% all clear. And the only reason they still don't believe that I have this condition, part of it is because of my deranged mother inserting herself in the initial gas leak, telling them that my son and I aren't injured, we never had an injury, and that there's no problem, it's a mental disorder, they then cut off our hotel, forced us home, basically to live with our brains bleeding in and out of consciousness for months until I got enough money to get us another home and get us to safety. And then, we've been back in the home a little over a year. There was all this damage done while we were gone, over $100,000 in damage. And I'm still fighting with the insurance company on that. Ford keeps spilling, and I fell asleep upstairs. It is supposed to rain the next few days, which will naturally wash it away, which is what I'm hoping happens. But when it's raining, it gets stirred up and the particle level's high. I gotta wait for it to settle before traveling out and about or trying to attempt to be upstairs long periods of time, because the particle level's higher upstairs. We've been sheltering in place and contained to the two main rooms on the main floor that have the clearest level particles, with an air scrubber and the windows taped off and tarps over them to keep as many particles out as possible. But you can see it heavily in my eyelids when I take in neurotoxins and have exposures, because my brain tissue is open, the blood-brain barrier is open. It goes right through. It loads up in my brain and all up in here where it's open. You can see it's all puffy. You can see all this. That's the neurotoxins. That's the gases and particles loading up right through. It goes right through my brain upon every breath. That's not supposed to be happening. If I wasn't injured, that wouldn't be the case. They're extremely puffy, heavy, and sagging because of the heavy neurotoxicity, and because we've been without at least maintenance treatments. We still need ongoing daily treatment for quite some time. And even then, we need maintenance treatments for life. Do you see all this? This is not normal. This is the gas particles within, stuck up all up in there. I feel it. It's all heavy and burnt. I feel the particles. It's not comfortable. It hurts. And then it's all heavy. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't get it out without treatment. And now that the center is closed, they're closed indefinitely. That was the only way for us to get treatment. And I have my home backup chamber, which the concentrator portion, I'm still waiting on my homeowner's insurance to send me the funds to replace it, which was supposed to be expedited at the end of December. It's now April. They've switched my adjuster 3 more times since then. Each person says they're working on it. 2 more weeks go by, I get another call where they're saying, "Oh, I'm the new adjuster." Okay, well, this claim's been going on for over 20 months. At this point, it does not take that long to situate a claim. On top of it, you were sent all the proper medical documents that we're living with a very serious life-threatening condition, and this is a life-saving medical device that we require to stay alive. All the documentation was properly sent. The documentation regarding the concentrator itself, they don't generally repair them no matter what, is what I figured out, especially in what had happened with this one. They wouldn't be trying to with somebody with my condition anyway, but they don't repair them ever usually. So it has to be replaced. And, this has been passed to so many desk adjusters. And when I try to tell somebody our condition, what we've been through and what has happened to us and where we are currently, they can't comprehend it, because what we've been through is so extreme that nobody else has ever been through what we've been through. And so, and I called earlier today because a few days ago I figured out they switched my adjuster again. And I called to let her know this needs to be expedited because she said the same thing. Oh, give me 7 to 10 business days. Okay, that's what the last 3 people said. I'm sitting here months later without any treatment at all. And now we've been in the middle of a spill for almost 3 months, another spill, sheltered in place the majority of that time. I have had to go a few places. I did spend some time upstairs in my room. I miss my bed. I'm not comfortable. I've been downstairs, mostly on the floor where it's the clearest. Now I'm on the couch. But so when I went up there and showered, I fell asleep in my bed. You know, to lose the ability to have like your comfortable bed to sleep in and clean air to breathe, to stay alive and comfortable after everything we've been through. Regular people don't experience that. You know, they take that shit for granted, and that's stuff that we require. And if that's not happening, especially me, I'm worse than my son. I live in an extreme state of suffering, waxing and waning symptoms all day, every day. It doesn't go away. But you can see it. That's why I'm doing this video. And I had the lady arguing with me on the phone, not believing how serious this situation is. And because I've been without treatment for quite some time, for some months now, which is, that's not good. The longer that goes by, the more life-threatening the situation becomes, because we come in contact with particles, especially when there's those spills in our houses where the main blast zone is. I can't even sell it from the damage from the first spill and what it all came out of that, and the crimes that have come out of that. Because there's numerous sets of crimes, numerous large agencies, and numerous people directly involved in that. That's what the argument with the homeowners insurance is over, because the work is only 70% done. They're still not sending me the remaining portion of the funds I need to finish it. So if, you know, my option would be I could sell it, but I'd be significantly shorted, like $100,000, around $100,000. But now due to all this, I'm under Chapter 13 bankruptcy. So then I'd be left with nothing. I'm still permanently disabled without the ability to rebuild in the manner in which I've built my life, and I can't go back to working for someone else. I haven't worked for somebody else a long time, and due to my injuries, the only reason I was producing income all along is because I've been 100% self-employed for a long time. This house was supposed to be an Airbnb years in advance. Paperwork was filed years ago. This insurance claim's been almost 2 years now. I can't sell it, and even if I did, regardless, I need the rest of the funds to finish the work to sell it if I was going to do that, so I could get the proper amount that I owed for my home. The amount that I would be selling it for would be significantly shorted, and that shouldn't be the case in my situation, especially after everything we've been through. So there's one problem. And problem number 2, the life-saving medical device that I'm in need of replacement, they're playing games with, and it is a matter of life and death, and we can't go to the hospital and receive treatment. And that's also due to my mother's ongoing crimes and her actions as a Beaumont Hospital employee. When our injury became extreme initially, she was still working. She's now retired. But she played a very big role in falsifying our medical records, pulling other staff members aside with her badge hanging from her neck, telling them false things about me and entering that stuff into our medical file. I watched her with my own 2 eyes on numerous occasions. And then upon every time the situation became more urgent and I was brought back there, and my son was brought back there, they operate on the false information that was previously put in our file. Prior to all this, for 20 years, I had no medical history, was not a part of the medical system. She's been telling people I have this mental disorder and a drug problem for all these decades, which has never been real. I'm 100% self-made, self-built, been on my own since I was 18, worked from the ground up, while she's wiping me out from behind the scenes, using all these agencies to help her do so and chase me and commit crimes against me. These are very serious crimes. These are RICO crimes. There's been large sums of money exchanged and promises to pay in the future for ongoing harassment against me and problems to be created in my life in the current, if they're able to successfully either get me thrown in jail, locked up in a mental hospital, or killed. That is what she needs to happen. That's been her agenda for over 2 decades for sure. I can prove it. There is several witnesses. Nobody's trying to investigate. The police are involved in the crimes in numerous cities, numerous other agencies as well. I'm not safe in my own home for numerous reasons. The police are waiting to come back and falsely arrest me as well. they don't believe me when I'm telling them that Ford Motor Company spilled, then how did I if I'm not that injured and those particles don't load up like I say in my brain and my system, then how did I tell you that that's what was going on? And then you still tried to lie to me because I recorded the call to the city and then found the trucks flushing, got a video of that, and then found just above that hours later the power lines on fire from the high levels of gas. The proof is in the pudding. I've caught every situation along the way. So when I talked to my homeowner's insurance earlier today, I directly stated, I've been filming, I've been releasing videos on YouTube. There's many large agencies and direct people involved in what has happened to us and our situation and how sick we are and our injuries and the ongoing effects we suffer from and the crimes. Many people. And I directly told her, I'm going to be filming another video today, and I'm going to directly mention that Home Site by Progressive is my homeowner's insurance company who keeps trying to not replace my life-saving medical device that we require to stay alive, which I have already produced the documents to them, and I've gone public with them, and they are on my YouTube channel. So if I am found dead again, because I cannot receive treatment within the medical system once I'm brought back due to all of the false information that's in there, due to my mother's crimes and the crimes of Beaumont and their other employees helping her, if I'm either found dead in my home or there's another incident where all oxygen is cut off from my brain due to our condition and not having the chamber up and running to remove the particles as they're being taken in, it's required to keep us alive. So, if I'm found dead or if I'm brought back to the hospital and I end up not making it out of this, they are directly responsible. Ford Motor Company is directly responsible. The city of Flatrock is directly responsible. My mother's directly responsible. And Home Site by Progressive is all directly responsible. But they all play a role. Each one of them. And Christine at the top of Ford specifically, who was in charge of the first gas spill. All of those people. And it'll be provable, because if I'm dead, you'll find in an autopsy, when you cut my brain open, you will find Ford Motor Company's gas particles loaded up inside my brain and up in my eyelids, in the front part of my head and in my brain. You will find it. I promise you that. So if I am found dead, that's what you will find. So they can play games all day, but that's our reality. You can see it while I'm sitting here, laying here. This should not be happening. My eyelids should not be heavy and this big and puffy and saggy and folding over my eyelids like that. That's from the Ford gas particles of the most recent spill. Now, it is supposed to rain for numerous days. I am hoping it continues to do so and then settles, because I can't, my mailbox has been knocked down for almost 2 months. I can't even be out there long enough to put it back up. So I can't even get my mail, and I can't even get to the post office to pick up my mail or to let them know I need to be on a further hold. And they're not understanding when I'm telling them Ford spilled again and this is the situation. They can't even comprehend why I can't be in the particles, or why that would be the case, or why isn't it public? They don't even want to comprehend that. And everybody seems to think I'm over exaggerating or this is some type of joke. Then why are my eyelids folded over and heavy like this right now? If that's all made up and exaggerated, why is this the case? So if I'm found dead, go ahead, do an autopsy. You'll find Ford's gas particles all up in here. You'll find it all in there. And directly, the city of Flatrock, Ford Motor Company, Home Site by Progressive, all directly responsible. Beaumont as well, because they're not going to treat. They won't give me any hyperbaric treatments. We were at this private center treating, and now it's permanently closed due to the little boy exploding in the chamber. And that was the only way we got to live in the first place. That's how we were staying alive. And our backup home system has been out of commission, still waiting on the homeowner's insurance claim, which should not be going on this long later. It is an emergency. It is an urgent situation. These people all think it's funny. I've tried to even report some of this to the FBI, like the entire situation as a whole and everything else that's gone on with it. Everybody thinks it's a joke. They all laugh. It's going to be real funny when all my videos go viral, and I'm no longer here, and the proof is in my brain, and there's an autopsy done to prove all these particles are loaded up in there, and then they'll be able to see that the brain tissue is open, raw, and burnt. And it has been for years, and I've been living this way for years. So it's going to be real funny if that's the end result in my situation and I don't make it through it. All those people who laughed at me, I promise you, if I'm found dead, you will find these particles within my brain and my brain tissue and in my eyelids and in my head. You will find all of those. So it's going to be real funny, because I promise you, God will make sure you live a very miserable life if you are one of the people involved in laughing at my situation or participating in the crimes against me, and preventing treatment and or helping cover up the crimes and making sure that that we don't get to do our treatment, which now the only way we're going to do that is at home and by replacing that concentrator. It's not that hard. Send me the funds to replace my concentrator and get me the rest of the funds to finish my home so I can get myself out of here and get to safety. And I can't even sell the home. We're stuck in this predicament because of the ongoing crimes of all these agencies and people, with my mother at the root. So why would my eyelids be that saggy with all these lines? Why would that be the case? You ever seen anybody with eyelids like this? This isn't normal. There's other pictures of me. They don't look like this unless I've taken in heavy neurotoxin, heavy amounts of particles. They go right through the blood-brain barrier. My blood-brain barrier is wide open. Part of the reason for that is Sergeant Matthew Wilchinski in Flatrock Police Department. He redamaged my brain tissue significantly, falsely arresting me, dragging me from my home. On my mother's delusional phone calls, believing it's my ex's home. He pays all the bills when he didn't even live here. Everything's mine. Everything in the home's mine. And then didn't believe I couldn't have carbon monoxide and that I had any amount of it. And then I was homebound for many years, treating an inpatient injury as an outpatient situation, and exposed me to so much carbon monoxide. It was almost done being repaired. It blew it all the way back. This was in 2021, almost 4 years ago. I'm still not, none of that's repaired to the degree it was before that happened. So now all these additional spills and all these re-exposures are way worse on me. And it took me 2.5 years of treatment. 2.5 years of treatment daily to get to that point where I was before that day. 4 years later, I'm still not where I was. So, we'll see what happens. But if I'm found dead, all those people are responsible. You will find the proof. Do an autopsy. It'll be within my brain tissue, my eyelids. Those gas particles shouldn't be loaded up inside anybody's brain or eyelids. Unless what I say the condition is. And it is. It's all on paper. I've already released it on YouTube. It's already on my channel. That is what the problem is. That is why we're sick, as sick as we are, and why we have to shelter in place. It's all initially due to the carbon monoxide overload when it had exploded internally, my brain internally, and broke through the entire blood-brain barrier, flooding my entire system at that point. It's taken all these years to repair that brain tissue to the degree that it is. The sides are healed for the most part. The back is mostly healed. The front's wide open. The top's wide open. So it's very uncomfortable. It's not fun living this way. And that's what other people don't understand. That's why we have to live modified lives. So, if I'm found dead, everybody I just mentioned is responsible directly. They need to have charges brought on them. No one's listening to anything I'm saying. I'll be back with another one. Thanks.